My name is Jessica. I am 31 years old. I live in Florida, USA. My life with my husband Michael felt complete and happy. We shared a small house near the beach and enjoyed evening walks along the shore. Michael worked as a boat mechanic, and I managed a local coffee shop. Our days were simple and filled with laughter. We planned to buy a bigger boat for weekend fishing trips. I trusted Michael with all my heart. He was my best friend and my greatest supporter. I believed our love was strong and honest. I never imagined a different reality. Michael sometimes took weekend fishing trips with his friends. He said these trips helped him relax from his busy work schedule. He would return on Sunday evenings smelling of salt water and sunshine. He always had exciting stories about the fish they caught. I enjoyed hearing his adventures. I never questioned these trips. They were a normal part of our life together. I used the quiet weekends to read books or visit my parents. I looked forward to his return and his funny stories. Our life felt perfectly balanced and wonderfully predictable. I felt secure in our marriage. One Saturday, Michael left for another fishing trip. He promised to bring back fresh fish for dinner on Sunday. Later that day, I realized he forgot his favorite fishing jacket. I decided to drive to his friend's marina to bring it to him. The day was bright and sunny. I felt happy thinking about surprising him. I arrived at the marina, but his boat was not there. His friend Tom was working on another boat. I asked Tom where Michael had gone. Tom looked confused. He said Michael had not gone fishing with him for over 6 months. I felt a sudden chill despite the warm sun. Tom's words did not make any sense. Where was Michael every weekend? I thanked Tom and walked back to my car. My hands were shaking. I tried to call Michael's cell phone, but it was turned off. A heavy feeling settled in my chest. I drove home slowly, my mind filled with worried thoughts. Maybe there was a simple explanation. Maybe he found a new fishing spot with different friends. I tried to calm my racing heart. I decided to wait for him to come home. The next day, I could not sit still. I needed to understand where Michael went. I remembered he used a tablet for navigation on his boat. I found the tablet in his workshop and turned it on. The device showed his recent locations. I opened the map and my breath caught in my throat. The tracking history showed a regular location in a town called Clearwater, many miles away. He visited the same address every single weekend. The map showed a quiet residential street, not a marina or a fishing spot. My fear grew larger. I entered the address into my car's navigation system. I started driving to Clearwater. The 2-hour drive felt endless. My mind created and dismissed 100 different scenarios. Maybe he had a secret project. Maybe he was helping a relative. I pushed away the darker thoughts. I finally arrived on a pretty street with small, neat houses. I found the house number from the map. It was a light blue house with a well-kept garden. I parked my car across the street. I sat there for a moment, gathering my courage. I did not know what I would find. I walked up to the front door and rang the doorbell. My heart was pounding loudly. The door opened and a woman stood there. She had a friendly smile. A young boy played in the hallway behind her. Then I saw a photograph on the wall beside her. It was a wedding photo. The man in the photo was my husband, Michael. He was smiling next to this woman. I felt the world tilt around me. The woman's smile faded as she saw my pale face. She asked if I was okay. I could not form any words. I pointed a trembling finger at the wedding photo. I asked her who the man was. She said, "That's my husband, Michael." She said his name with love and pride. She invited me inside, thinking I was confused. She called for Michael. He walked into the living room from the kitchen. He held a little girl on his hip. The moment he saw me, his face turned white with shock. The little girl called him Daddy. In that instant, my entire life with him shattered into a million pieces. He had a second wife and 2 children. He had a whole other family. I turned and ran from that house without saying another word. I heard Michael calling my name behind me, but I did not stop. I got into my car and drove away. Tears streamed down my face, blurring my vision. I drove straight to my sister's house. I told her everything between sobs. She held me tightly and let me cry. I stayed with her that night. I knew I could never return to the life I had. The man I loved was a complete stranger. Our marriage was a lie. My home was no longer my home. The next day, I packed my belongings from our house while Michael was still in Clearwater. I left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter. I sent Michael a short text message. I wrote, "I know about your other wife and your children. Do not contact me again." He tried calling many times, but I never answered. His calls finally stopped. His silence was the only honest thing he had given me in a long time. It confirmed the terrible truth. I filed for divorce the following week. I wanted to erase him from my life completely. The legal process felt long and cold. Michael did not fight the divorce. He signed the papers quickly. I think he wanted to hide his secret from his other family. I felt a deep emptiness after everything ended. I had to mourn the loss of the future I thought we would have. I started therapy to help heal my broken trust. I spent more time with my family and my true friends. Their support gave me strength. I focused on my work at the coffee shop. I began to rebuild my life, piece by piece, on my own terms. Now, I live in a small apartment by myself. I have a cat and a garden on my balcony. I feel a peace I have not known for years. The sharp pain has softened into a quiet memory. I have learned to trust my own instincts again. I am more careful with my heart, but I am not afraid. I know that I am strong and capable on my own. My life is simple and honest. I enjoy my own company. I look forward to the future with hope. I know my own worth now. My story is about survival and self-respect. I left a man who lived a double life. I chose truth over lies. I walked away from a false marriage and found my own strength. I am Jessica. I am 31 years old, and I am the author of my own life. The future is a bright, open road, and I am walking it with my head held high. I learned that my happiness does not depend on anyone else. It comes from within me. I am free, and I am finally home.